This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the last class, we have understood how to create a class, how to create a variable, how to work on the class methods, instance variables, local variables, constructors, and everything. So today we will talk about the principles. Okay, so principles of object-oriented programming, principles of OOP. Okay, so whenever I'm talking about the principles of OOP. Okay, so what I'm dealing with here. So I'm going to talk about the OOP principles. The OOP principles are first one, inheritance. What is the first one? Inheritance. Okay, so first one is inheritance, and second one is going to be polymorphism. Okay, so third one is going to be abstraction, and fourth one is going to be encapsulation. Okay, so first one is going to be inheritance, second one is going to be polymorphism, third one abstraction, and fourth one encapsulation. So along with class and object, so without class and object nothing is possible. Okay, so first we will talk about inheritance. So when we talk about inheritance, so what is inheritance? It is the concept of It is the concept of it is a concept of acquiring. It is a concept of acquiring the properties. Okay, so concept of acquiring the properties of. Okay, so inheritance is the concept of acquiring the properties of one class into the other. One class into the other. It is a concept of acquiring means taking the properties from one class to the other. Okay. The class that will take the properties that will so properties means that methods, variables, whatever are there, so those things. Okay. The class that will take the properties is said to be the class that will take the properties. Take the properties is said to be a child class. Said to be a child class. Okay, the class that will take the properties is said to be a child class or derived class or okay, so child class, derived class or subclass. Any name you can give. Okay, the class that will take the properties is said to be child class, derived class or a subclass. Okay, the class that give the properties, the class that will give the properties. Okay, the class that will take the properties is said to be child class or derived class or the subclass. The class that will give the properties, the class that will give the properties is said to be sorry, so is said to be a parent class, or uh, base class or super class or a super class. Okay, the class that will give the properties. Okay, so the class that will give the properties is said to be a parent class or a base class or a super class or a super class. Okay, right. Then we will talk about types of inheritance. Types of inheritance. So first one is single inheritance. What is the first one? Single inheritance. Single inheritance means the type of inheritance, the type of inheritance in which we have a single parent class and a single child class. So the type of inheritance in which we have a single parent class and a single child class. So single parent. So single parent, single child. Okay. So this class will give the properties and this class will take the properties. Got it? Okay. So parent class and child class. So how the relationship we will maintain, that is important, no? So in Python we can make a class inherit inherits the existing class. In Python we can make a class inherit the existing class using the following way. So what is that way, we will understand. Now for taking the properties we require one class already should be there. Okay, right. Now for example, I have a class. Okay, so I have a class something like product. Okay, so class product. So product will give something like so def something like set details. Okay, and I'll just say pass, means I'll not have any code. Okay, so def get the details. Here also I'll not have any code. Okay, but what I'll do is I will create one more class that will use these properties. Now, for example, I'll say class mobile. So you generally will say mobile is a product. Mobile is a product. So what you are saying here? So you are saying, hey boss, you take the properties of the product. You take the properties of the product. You take the properties of whom? You take the properties of the product. So means you are able to use these properties. What are those properties? Set details and get details. Set details and get details. Okay. So if at all I want to use that properties, I can just use them. Now, for example, if I'm saying okay, so I'll say self, and here also I'll say self, something like that. Okay, right? Self is better to use. Now, what I'll do is I will have okay, I will have something like self dot product number. Okay, product number. So product number is equal to 1458. So self dot product name, self dot product. So here I'll say product name. Okay, so I will say something like Samsung mobile. Okay, so what is this mobile name? Samsung, and cost is 14. Okay, so 22689 something. Okay, and now I will print these details in the get details. So I will say print and I will close this. Okay, so same thing I'll do here also. So I'll say print self dot okay p name. Okay, self dot p name. Okay, next print self dot p cost. Self dot p cost. Okay, So what I'm doing here, I'm using the properties. So these properties are there here already. Set details and get details. What you are using? You are using those properties. You are using those properties. Means mobile is the child here. Product is the parent. Mobile is the child class. Product is the parent class. Product is the parent class. So here I will create m1 is equal to mobile, and I'll say m1 dot set details, m2 dot get details, m2 dot get details. So set details and get details. Now if I run, I'm going to okay, I'm going to get the things. Okay, so you are getting those values. So what is happening? So m1 dot set details is going and calling set details. But set details is given by whom? Set details is given by its parent. Set details is given by its parent. So its parent gave me. Its parent gave me, hey boss, I'm giving you set details. You can reuse it. You can reuse it. So in this way, you are dealing with the single inheritance. What is single inheritance? Single inheritance means so you will have one parent, one child. One parent, one child. So now here product is the which class? Product is the parent class. So and mobile is the child class. So whatever properties are there here can be taken up by mobile, can be taken up by its child, which is mobile. So there is no way that we can stop it from sharing or anything, because so we can completely take it. We can completely take it. Getting my point? Yes. So that's how we deal with the things. Okay. So we deal with how we can go for the inheritance. What is this inheritance? Single inheritance. What is this inheritance? Single inheritance. Whenever I'm saying single inheritance, the type of inheritance which is going to be the type of inheritance which is going to be taking the properties of an existing class. So now what is product here? Product is going to be a parent class. Product is going to be a parent class. And what is mobile? Is the child class. Mobile is the child class. Getting my point? Okay. Now, now we have multi-level inheritance. So what is multi-level inheritance? Multi-level inheritance means in this we have levels of classes. We have levels of classes. Okay, so levels of classes. How we can look at that levels of classes, sir? Now, if you observe here, so let's say this is P1 class, okay, and this is P2 class, and let's say this is P3 class, and let's say this is uh, uh, normal class, okay, N1. Now, P1 is the parent of P2. P2 is the parent of P3. P3 is the parent of N1 class. Okay, understanding my point? P1 is the parent of whom? P2. P3, P2 is the parent of whom? P3. P3 is the parent of whom? N1. So here P1 is the parent of all the classes. So generally in Python, object will be the parent. Object will be lying in the top level. Okay, always. Okay, object class will be always in the top level. Okay, so that you have to remember. Now whenever you are looking at this, okay, so what we are finding, we are having one class. That class is the parent of other class, and this class is the parent of this class. This class is the parent of this class. Who is the immediate parent of n1? P3. Who is the immediate parent of P3? P2. Who is the immediate parent of P2? P3. But N1 will get all the properties of P1, P2, P3, and P4. Sorry, P1, P2, and P3, not P4. P4 is not there. So N1 will get the properties of P1 also, P2 also, and P3 also. Levels. Yes, levels. Okay, right. Now let's say, okay, so now let's say I have a class. Okay, uh, so mobile, mobile ఎట్లా మొబైల్ అంటే పేరెంట్ టాప్ మోస్ట్ పేరెంట్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ brand. Okay, so brand. Now you have a class franchise. So franchise will take the properties from the brand. Okay, franchise will take the properties from the brand. Okay, so now class. So now what a customer will do? Customer will go to the franchise. So customer. So customer will get the properties from franchise. But at the end of the day, customer is getting the brand or not? Yes, customer is getting the brand or not? Okay. So brand is giving. Okay. So brand is giving something like brand name. Okay. So brand name. So brand name. Okay. So brand name. So brand is giving brand name. Franchisee will apply the franchisee will apply what? Franchisee will apply the cost. So franchisee can apply its own cost. So brand only is giving brand name. Franchisee can apply its own cost. So branch name. Oh, sorry, brand name. So brand name is equal to something like uh, hmm, Skechers. What is the shoe name? Skechers. Sneakers. Okay. Sneaker. Okay. So sneakers brand. So now sneakers brand has given a franchisee. So now price, brand price. So brand price is set by the franchisee. Let's say 56,000. Okay. Okay. Now customer will take the property brand name also and brand price also. Okay. Now I will say def display. Okay. So display self. So now he can say print. Print. I got brand. Okay. So I got brand for price dot format dot format. Okay, so what I want to keep here, I want to keep, okay, so I want to keep brand name. So which brand name here? Customer dot brand name. Customer dot brand name, comma, customer dot brand price. Customer dot brand price. Okay, so customer can take the brand name also and brand price also, but brand name is given by the brand, price is given by the franchise, price is given by the franchise. Okay, so simply I will run. Okay, okay. So what we are doing now? In customer, we don't have any variable, brand name, brand price, or anything. But customer is the child of franchise. Customer is the direct child of franchise. Franchise is the direct child of brand. But customer will get franchisee properties also and brand properties also. So that is what is the inheritance. Which inheritance this is? Multiple inheritance. Which inheritance? Sorry, multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. So whenever we are talking about multi-level inheritance, you need to remember this. Okay. So multi-level inheritance is a type of inheritance, so wherein we will try to have multiple levels. But for every class, who will be the parent? Object will be the parent. Okay, so if you don't give or give, it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you don't give or if you give also, it doesn't matter. So it will be object as the parent. Object will be the parent for sure. Got it? Yes. Okay. Next, we will talk about hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. So what is this hierarchical inheritance basically? The type of inheritance. Okay, so hierarchical inheritance means the type of inheritance in which we have a single parent, which we have a single parent and two or more children. Okay, single parent and two or more children. Okay, so the type of inheritance in which we have a single parent and two or more children. Two or more children. Okay, so what you can see here, sir, you can see. Okay, so here you will have single parent and you will have child 1, child 2, okay, and you will have child 3. Child 3. So parent properties will be given to three children. Given to three children. So that's what the point. Okay. Now for example, I have a class shape. Okay. So shape is giving something like area. Okay. So self. If you don't give anything here, it is pass. Okay. So every shape has area. Every shape has perimeter, and every shape is going to have the uh, circumference. Every shape is going to have the circumference. Okay. Now what I'll have to create is I'll have to create a class square. So class square takes the properties of the shape. Class square will take the properties of the shape. So class square will take the properties of who? Shape. Now in the same way, I will have class rectangle taking the properties of the shape. Take the properties of the shape. And in the same way, class circle taking the properties of the shape. Okay. So in simple words, if I say square is a shape, rectangle is a shape, circle is a shape. So circle can take the properties of the shape. Square can take the properties of shape. Rectangle can take the properties of the shape. So in that way we are going to talk about. Okay. Now square and rectangle will have area. So what is the area basically? Area formula is what? So print uh, like say for example length into breadth. Length into breadth. Okay. So now I want this length and breadth. Okay, so if we want this length and breadth, what we can do is we can create these two variables. Okay, so we can create these two variables inside a constructor also. Okay, so inside a constructor. So here I will say self comma. Okay, so length comma breadth, length comma breadth. Okay, so length comma breadth, and I want to put them. So self dot length is equal to length. So self dot length is equal to length. So I want to initialize the values in that way. So, and here I'll say breadth is equal to breadth is equal to breadth. Okay. Now what is the area here? Self dot. So what is the constructor which will initialize the values and can be used by and can be used anywhere and can be used anywhere. Self dot length and self dot breadth. Okay. So then we will talk about 2 into okay perimeter. No. So perimeter formula is 2 into self dot length plus self dot breadth. Okay. Right. Now same thing can happen to oh this is square no. So okay I'll make this rectangle and I'll make this square. Sorry. So square and take the same things back again. So here, but here you need only side. You need only side. You don't require anything else. Self dot side is equal to side. Self dot side is equal to side. You don't require this. And okay, so area here self dot side into side. You are using the properties. Which properties you are using? Square proper shape properties you are using. So perimeter is equal to uh, 4 into 4 into self dot side. That's it. Okay. So what basic idea you are getting over here? So you are getting an idea of okay. So you are getting an idea of okay. So what you are getting here? So you are getting an idea of rectangle. Okay. So rectangle, square, circle using the properties. Using the properties. Okay. Now you come to circle. What circle will do here? So circle will okay. So what circle will do here? Circle will take radius only. Circle will take radius only. Okay. Self dot radius is equal to radius. Okay. So area. So what is the formula here? So radius 2. Okay. So what is the formula here? Pi r square. No. So what is pi value? 3.14 into okay pi r square. Pi r square. Okay, simple mathematical formulas, right? And here you will not have perimeter, you will have circumference. So what is circumference? Sir? Circumference is nothing but 2 pi r. So 2 into okay self dot radius into 3.14. Okay, like this. Okay. So what all you have here? So 3.14 into self dot radius into self dot radius. Okay, pi r square, 2 pi r. Okay, right. But all these area, perimeter, circumference are coming from where? Are coming from the shape class. Shape class. So shape is important here. So shape class is important. So from shape you are getting all this. Okay, right. So this is what one parent and two or more children, okay, like that. Understanding? So now how we can call them? So we can call them by respective class names. You can call them by respective class names. Now, for example, I want to create a rectangle. R1 is equal to rectangle, but I have to pass two values. No, I have to pass two values, like say 25 comma 61. Okay, and I'll say R1 dot area, R1 dot area, and R1 dot perimeter, R1 dot perimeter. Okay, sorry. So we should run all these things. Okay. So once we run this, you will have the rectangle. Okay, so rectangle, area, and the perimeter, right? Okay, and in the same way, we will talk about uh, okay, C1 circle. So circle, so we require only this. Okay, so let's say 2.5. So C1, C1. So it will have circumference. What it will have? Circumference. So it will not have what? So it will not have the perimeter. It will not have the perimeter, right? Okay. Then, so you have square. S1 is equal to square. So square. So S1 dot. Okay. Area again, and S1 dot S1 dot perimeter. S1 dot perimeter. So simply if you run this, you will have, okay. So again I will say 6.36. Okay. Square also need to take one, no? Okay. So now you are getting this much. So in this way you are going to deal with which one? Which concept? Concept of inheritance. Which inheritance? Hierarchical inheritance. Which inheritance? Hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so today we'll complete the inheritance concept. So two more inheritances are there. So four is multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means what, you know? The type of inheritance in which we have two or more parent classes and one and only one child class. Only one child class. That means there might be many parent classes. Okay, but one and only one child class. One and only one child class. Okay, so one and only one child class, right? Okay. Now, for example, let's say I have class 1. So class 1 is having a is equal to 5. Okay, and let's say class 2 is having, okay, a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3. B is equal to 3. Okay, and here a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 5. So this class name is class 2. Now if at all I want to take these two classes as parent, I will say class 3 1 comma 2. Okay, what I can say 1 comma 2. If I say 1 comma 2, what will happen? So what will happen? I will get the properties. Which properties I will get? This one also, this one also, this one also, this one also. Fine. Now, okay, otherwise what I'll do is I'll say C here. Okay. So Okay, if I print A, okay, so if I print A, okay, so A, now for example, if I'm saying 3 dot A, okay, so 3 dot A and 3 dot B and 3 dot C, 3 dot B and 3 dot C, okay, right, under uh, display, under display itself, okay, so I'm just moving it here. So let me create T1 is equal to 3 objects and then T1 dot display. T1 dot display. Okay, let me run this and let me run this also. Okay, now what I got here, when I said display, I got 5, B3 and C also. Okay, so C I will give something like 6 to get away from the confusion. So when I said display, what values you are getting? 5, 3 and 6. So what values you are getting? 5, 3 and 6. Why 5 you are getting? You said 3 dot A, no? Then this 3 is not coming. Why? Because the first preference will be given to the leftmost. Now for example, if I am writing 2 and I am writing 1 here. Okay. Now if you observe, so T2 is equal to 3 and T2 dot display. Okay. Now if you observe, you got 336. Why, sir? Because the preference is given to the leftmost. If they are same, if they are not same, no problem. Okay, if they are not same, no problem. But if they are same, what will be preferred? The left side class will be preferred. Who will be preferred? The left side class will be preferred. Getting my point? Yes or no? Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is 1, 2. So 1 is having A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3, 2 is having what? A is equal to 3, B is equal to 6. So when you said 3, so 3 what you said? You said you take from left. So this is left and this is right. Okay. So what 3 will take? A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3 and C is equal to 6. B, C, no problem. But A, which one is taking? Left one is taken. Which is taken? Left one is taken. Getting my point? Okay. Now, for example, I'll have 2 again. I'll have 1 here and I'll have 3. Now, what is 2 having? A is equal to 3, C is equal to 6. And here A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3. That's it. Okay. Now, when you are taking 3, so what this becomes now? This becomes left and this becomes right. Now see what happens when I ran display. It has taken A is equal to 3, okay, B is equal to 3 and C is equal to 6. Is that clear? So that's the way it goes. Left side one will take. So you can have any number of, but left side one properties will be taken into the chain. Okay, right. Final రెండు అంటే we need to use other techniques. So super case sensitive and all, you leave it. Case sensitive and all you can leave. So you have to use some super keyword something. So when it is required, I'll tell you. Okay, for now you just understand inheritance concept. We are not understanding the accepting context. Okay, right. So we'll talk about. So finally we will talk about hierarchical inheritance. Sorry, hybrid inheritance. So we will talk about hybrid inheritance. What is hybrid inheritance? Basically, it's a combination. It is a combination of. Okay, so hybrid inheritance is a combination of all types of all types of inheritance. All types of inheritance. So it is a combination of all types of inheritance. Now, for example, you have A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so is the A is the who is A? A is the child of B. C is the child of A. Okay, so like this. Get my point? So now ABD is multi-level inheritance. CA is single inheritance. BAC is hierarchical inheritance. So like that, it is a combination of all. Okay, so no need of any example. It's a combination of all. Okay, so this is what is inheritance for you. So in our next session, we will be talking about polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. Okay, and from Monday we can start DJAG. Okay, so on Saturday we will try to finish off the other concept like exception handling and all. And Monday we can start DJAG. Okay, right.